Talk. Talk. Talk to me Tuesday.
Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday on a Tuesday. I'm your host, Madi B, and today we're going to have a pretty exciting show, but then also a very serious show. So today we're still going to announce our heroic behavior winner. I know a lot of you guys are coming on to see if you are our lucky winner. So you will be winning some good tickets. We'll talk about that a little later. Let me just make sure. Hold on. Yep, the winner is in here. Yeah. So we're just going to wait for a couple more people to come on to the show so that they can claim their prize live and in action. Now, today we're going to open up the lines of communication on those that were affected by the Tropical Storm Imelda. That's something that happened in the last week here in the Houston area, Beaumont area, all in the Gulf Coast of the Gulf area where Texas is. Pretty common area to be hit from either hurricanes, tropical storms, all that good stuff. And yes, we are in hurricane season. So wanted to kind of touch base for any of you guys that are in the community right now that are in need of shelter, items, help, or anything that we could do as a community to give back to you guys. I know certain areas in particular got hit really, really hard. Up north, the Conroe area got hit really hard. Beaumont area got hit really hard. If you guys saw the news, I-10 heading east got hit really, really hard. And it just caught us by surprise. You know, it was raining a lot. No one really had the, hey, this is coming, stay sheltered, to where we didn't have to go to work or anything like that. It just really just creeped up. I know there's a lot of debate as to why, you know, we live in Houston, which there's not much or many places to where the water can go. So let's talk a little bit about what happened. So on September 17th, it hit home. So prior to that, all last week, I believe it was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it was raining. So that was a lot of rainfall coming down for an opportunity for the water to either just sit there or not really get a chance to go anywhere and deplete on, you know, the system. So on September 17th, it hit home here in Houston, Beaumont area, damaging many, many neighborhoods and businesses in the southwest area and certain parts of Louisiana as well. There was more than 1,000 people who have been rescued. In a second, we're going to show you a little bit of a footage. They were rescued from the flood waters, rising, being in their home, and not being able to get out, which is crazy because just 2 years ago in August, we experienced this with Hurricane Harvey. So it's kind of like repeating itself on what to do in this just tragic event around the southeast area. Throughout Houston, hundreds of homes were affected, still haven't come to the point to where everything is good, which just because you walk outside and everything looks normal, that doesn't mean certain people are living back to their normal living arrangements. So, you know, you still have to allow the water to go down, then you have to gut the house, then you have to make your claims, all that good stuff. So there is going to be a good time period going forward that people are still affected and still need our help, and still for us to come together as a community and help them. There were more than 1,600 vehicles that were towed, and right now, currently, there has been reported 5 deaths attributed to the storm. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about certain areas. So if you guys are watching right now and you are in those areas, or you know of someone, a family member or a friend in those areas, please reach out to us either privately or in the comment section below so that we can see what we can do to help. There was schools that were affected as well. On the news, you see, school was still in session, jobs were still in session. We do have things for schools to help the kids, also for those families that just probably don't have any clothes. So right now we're at the moment of time and we just want to help, and we need to hear your voice so that we can go out there and help you guys. Beaumont was one that was hit pretty hard. And so right in a little bit, we're going to actually speak to someone that is still in the Beaumont area, that lives, that there's a neighborhood in the Beaumont area, so they could talk about their experiences and also the help that is still needed for that community and what they're going through currently right now. Before we do that, I do want to show you guys a little snippet and a little video recapping the news outlet and the news media, so that way you can see exactly how hard Imelda hit us here. So let's take a look at that video. Okay, so that video pretty much shows you how certain parts of the city have been affected. And someone did make a comment, glad that we're safe. So thankfully, our community here in our law firm is safe. We do have employees as well that are also safe. Some of them were had to experience some routes that weren't able to get home, but thankfully everyone is safe in this area. So thank you for the concern. So like mentioned, we do have someone currently online. It's through phone base. Online we have a Beaumont resident to speak about his experience. So we have Erick Thomas on the line. Hi, Erick.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you for taking the time and speaking to us. I know right now you're going through some tough times and trying to adapt with your life changing slightly, but we're going to ask you a couple of questions on what happened and how we can come together as a community to not just help you but also your neighborhood and your community.
Oh, that'd be awesome there, because it's crazy out here right now.
Yes, and I know we're going to show some pictures here online as well. The name of your neighborhood was South Park neighborhood in Beaumont, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your experience. I know when it hit hard was on Thursday. So tell us a little bit about the details, like exactly like where you were at and what happened to your home in particular.
Well, what transpired was when it started coming down Wednesday night, and I was at work. So, you just thinking the rainwater was high, and it's still getting higher and higher, but, on the streets, everybody's still riding around, and as the night progressed, by midnight, I get a phone call from my neighbors. We're at 18 inches of water in their house.
Oh, wow.
And by the time I finally got off work, the water was so high you couldn't even get to my house.
Oh my.
It ended up, so when I finally made it, I was looking at 42 inches of water on one side of my house and 49 inches on the other side.
That's crazy.
So,
and the pictures that we're seeing right now, which are at night, this is your actual home. Is this correct?
yes.
Okay. So we do have some pictures so that way you guys can see how high the water is just in comparison to a door. 40, you mentioned 49 inches of water inside. So you also mentioned you were at work, so you couldn't even get home and secure items or even try to get anything out or anything. At that point, you know, your safety was what was important. So where exactly did you go, or what was going through your mind at that time?
Going through my mind at that time was I knew I was going to lose everything. So I was prepared for the worst, but you're still hoping for the best. And it's just like, I just want to get to my house to assess damage, see how everyone else is going, how it's doing, my mom's okay, the family members, all that stuff. That was my main focal point.
Right. And I know that has to be a hard time when you're at work and you're not really there to see and assess the situation, to kind of see what's going on. But main concern is obviously first and foremost your loved ones and making sure everyone was okay. So tell us, Erick, when did you actually get to go to your home, like to touch the area and kind of see everything for yourself?
I finally got to my house Friday morning.
Okay.
Because the water didn't start going down in my neighborhood until 9 o'clock Thursday night. You know, and it was still freaking 3.5 feet of water, and you can't get no vehicle through that.
Right.
I came home Friday morning and just total wreckage.
Yeah. So I know we're looking at some pictures right now, which is after the water has already, depleted from the area, but you already started, it looks like very proactive and started gutting the home and cutting certain areas to how high the water is. And you guys can see right now how high that water really is. I think this is a kitchen that we're looking at. And so when you walked in, did you lose everything? Were you able to salvage anything, any of the, important documents or anything like that?
No, everything I had was a complete loss, with the exceptions of 3 TVs because they're on the wall.
Oh,
but
wow.
Everything else was a total loss. It's everything, like I say in the pictures, it was floating. Like, I was trying to send you the videos because I had my cameras, and you can just see everything. You can hear the water, see it all floating around the house. Refrigerators floating from the kitchen to the bedroom, sofas everywhere. And, but it got so wet, I ended up losing all the footage on that. I had to wait on them so I can get that footage back.
Right. And let's talk a little bit about, I know we mentioned your home, and we're looking at things in the neighborhood, your neighborhood. There's things outside. Everyone pretty much lost everything. How about your actual vehicles and any other type of assets that you have? Did you lose that as well?
Yeah, two vehicles and 2 motorcycles gone by the wayside.
Yeah, and I know we're looking at the motorcycles right now. The motorcycles were pretty much all the way under in the water. Is that correct?
Yeah, the lime green one there, the light green one, it was completely covered. You couldn't see it at all. And on the Harley, all you could see was the little windscreen. That's it.
Wow. And Erick, again, I want to say how sorry I am that you and your family are going through this, but why we're on the show today is to see what we can do as a community to help you out and try to get you a little closer to back to whole. So what are the current conditions now of not just your home, but also the neighborhood?
The neighborhood right now is everybody is just in disbelief because all these homeowners out here, everybody has homeowners insurance, which isn't going to cover them for the flood and all that stuff. So everybody's just like, man, I don't know what to do. It's starting all over, a rebuilding factor. It's just a horrible feeling because I've been here for 13 years, so I know all these people personally. So
Right.
just walking up and down the street talking to them, just see them, hands in their faces, crying. And one of my neighbors just recently lost his wife. He's the only person on the street that hasn't took nothing out of his house yet because there's so much memorabilia to him. He don't want to pull nothing out of his house.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of very tough to have so many memories invested into a home. That is a home to where you have your closest and most intimate memories and families. So to get that stripped away is definitely a very difficult thing to go through. So Erick, is this something that did you get affected, let me ask you first and foremost, on Hurricane Harvey as well?
On Harvey did not do hardly no effect back in this area. This Imelda, this is something was nobody prepared for. We just knew it was just going to be a little rain, it was going to keep on going. But this here, everybody lost everything, just flat out, because I have some apartments that's across the way from me. Every single car in there gone.
Wow. That's crazy. And so for the viewers that are watching right now and listening to your story, I know a lot of us, certain areas may have just felt a little bit of rain. Certain areas probably have zero effect. Some of them have a magnitude and tragic effect, like yourself. And we go outside and we think everything's back to normal. I know this just happened last week, but what do you think the time frame to rebuild this again looks like it'll take?
If I had to just say something out there, at the minimum, 6 months. At the bare minimum. I know a lady that stayed right across the train tracks from me. Heck, Harvey messed up her house pretty good, and just 3 weeks ago, she finally finished her house from Harvey, and it flooded out.
That's definitely unfortunate and very sad to hear that just when you get to just getting back to whole is where it gets taken away again. So you guys heard Erick, he said about 6 months, and that's just minimum. It could take longer, it could take a year or 2 years for those that have been affected by any of the waters, whether it's Harvey, Imelda. There's so many tropical storms and hurricanes. It does take a while to rebuild. So this, more than ever, do we all need to come to as a community and help each other out. So Erick, is there any shelters or places that are offering shelter to victims of the floods like yourself, that can also, if someone is watching right now, knows of a family member, a friend, anything that you know since you're in the area?
Right off, I'm not 100% sure on to where. I knew the Elegante was housing some people at one point, but the Elegante ended up getting a few feet of water in it. So now it's like they're telling people to call the Red Cross and get with the Red Cross. Red Cross putting people in certain areas. They were putting people at an old high school that flooded out during Harvey. They were housing them there. I don't know any other places because I haven't heard anything on it, but I know that one for sure.
Okay, well that definitely helps. We'll put that in the comment section for if anybody is watching and needs help on, how can we help or any shelters. And because we are right now online and there's maybe people watching that just want to make a difference, what are some items, Erick, that you feel are needed not just for yourself but also for residents? Again, I want to remind you guys that are watching, Erick and his neighborhood as well as other neighborhoods in the city lost everything. So what are some items, if you had to mention a few for us to come and bring to you guys, what would you say would help at this time?
I know as anything else, you can never go wrong with water. And for anybody that's in the rebuilding phase, because you can't really have no food, nothing like that, because everybody lost all the appliances. But if anybody has anything when it comes to people doing a sheetrock and installation to them homes, that's a huge help for a lot of people, because majority of these people they paying this out of pocket now.
Yeah, and I know what's a little frustrating is this process could take a while. Also, when filing any type of claims, there is a time frame for that to happen. So life is still continuing now. So if there's anybody that is watching that can help or can give any services or knows of any connections that could just, anything can help. And I know we're going to put Erick Thomas, his information here. We can also send a direct message to him or to D. Miller & Associates, and we can get a hold of them. Other suggestions, I know you mentioned if anyone is a handyman and that can help, sheetrock, stuff like that. But for the audience that is listening and someone wants to give a helping hand, is that something that your neighborhood is also, we can go over there and help take the stuff out, stuff like that? Is that also an option, Erick?
Yes, that's so much an option. Because you have a lot of elderly people out here, and everybody's trying to help everybody, but at the same time, you got to help yourself too.
Correct.
And it's so hard, because I'm next door. Actually, I'm not at my house. I'm helping my neighbors get all their stuff out of their house, because they're both senior citizens.
Right. And I know you are a person that also gives a lot to the community, not just to your own neighborhood, in the past, to children, to elderly. So good things will come to you, I know for a fact, Erick, and we'll make sure that we try to gather all the forces as a community to see what we can do for your neighborhood in particular. I want to thank you, Erick, for coming on the show, telling us your story. I know it just happened, so this is pretty tough time for you guys, for you and your family, but I want to thank you for telling us your story and allowing us to get you some type of help, and hopefully we'll get on the show again and maybe film on the process of where you're at maybe in a week or two.
That sounds wonderful there.
Thank you, Erick. So thank you, Erick, for tuning in. We will give you a call at a later time. And then if anybody offers any help or services, we'll make sure that we get in contact with you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Erick. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Awesome. So you guys heard someone currently right now in the Beaumont area. I know I have a couple of comments. I have Nicole saying, I got home just before it started flooding really bad. And she stated also to Erick, I'm sorry for your loss. So thank you, Nicole, for making those comments. Erick is one of many stories out there. Again, I want to make it very clear. We're already at work. It already looks normal. It doesn't seem like, nothing happened. There's people that are going through the gutting phase, barely getting the water out. So just because it looks normal doesn't mean people do not need our help and our assistance. I will tell you a story where I personally was. I was actually on a business trip in Utah. We were coming back on Thursday. The airport was flooded in International Airport, Bush and Hobby. Everything closed. We couldn't even get back. We were with about 6 other total employees, and that's also just as scary. Being somewhere and not knowing, it's the unknown that's scary. Being at work, not knowing what your home looks like, your kids, is everyone safe? It's a very scary feeling for those that are either in a home or in a car trapped outside of that area trying to get to that home or car. Family, loved ones, this is a really tough time. And those of you guys that are watching, I want you guys to really think and reflect on how difficult these times are for any of the situations. Not if they're in the home, but even outside. Just the things and the thoughts that go through your mind, everything, you just think of option A through Z, and you just you feel helpless. Right now is that where we could help. and we can put ourselves out there for those that are available. I want to strongly suggest, do not put your life in danger. If there is any type of high floods, please let the law enforcement or the authorities definitely go out there. But right now, everything looks like everything's low, clear, you can drive. We will definitely be making a trip out to the Beaumont area and donating some of those items to help the community. Some of the shelter information, I know I just mentioned. For some of you guys, I know downtown also got hit pretty hard. I didn't mention downtown. The pictures that you guys saw in the video, that was right in the middle of everything. There's a lot of high rises, but there's a lot of people that don't have homes and or have low clearance homes. So shelters that are included are in the comment section. Just a couple: East Montgomery County Senior Center, Whites Park Community Building, Orange County Convention and Expo Center, New Light Christian Center. There's a lot of shelters out there for you guys. If you guys either need the help, assistance currently right now, if you know of a family member or friend, or just want to help out, you may not know anybody affected, but you want to lend a hand and help. Those are some shelters that are receiving items, help, toiletries, water, I believe clothes as well. I personally like to see people face to face and see a smile on their face and just know that I'm able to help someone's life. Some of these shelters don't allow that because they go distribute. So my suggestion is giving a call if you want to be one of those helping hands in our community, and we can definitely make a difference. I know if some of you guys got affected by any hurricane in the past or tropical storm, remember that feeling of helplessness, of not being able to get out of the city. It wasn't that easy 2 years ago for Hurricane Harvey. A lot of people were stuck. There was a lot of looting. We couldn't leave. Right now, there are certain people in those situations. So remember those times, and let's see what we can do and help together as a community. Is there any other comments that you have currently right now, Giselle? No? Okay, so we're good on the comments. I want to kind of flip it a little bit. Right, today is also a very, I said bittersweet is going to be the show because it is a tragic event that we want to highlight on. We don't want to act as if everything's back to normal because there's certain parts that are not. So those are very tragic for our city, and once our city is down, we have to come stronger than ever. So Houston strong always to help the city. But today we also have another special part of the show, which is our heroic behavior. So today we're almost at the end of the month. So heroic behavior is something we do every month to give back to the community. How can we give back and just make you feel like you just don't have to have any worries and you could just relax? That's what we do, is a heroic behavior, whether it's tickets to a restaurant, tickets to an event in the community, whatever it is. Here on Talk to Me Tuesday, D. Miller & Associates, we collaborate to give something in return. And this month is giving 2 tickets to a haunted house called Phobia. So a lot of you guys really enjoy the Halloween holiday, and so we did this for you. Yeah, that's me. I'm dressed as Storm. I don't know. It could be scary. It could not be scary. A lot of my coworkers didn't like that outfit because I had white eyes. But today we are doing the heroic behavior giveaway. So a lot of you guys are waiting for this moment. Now, before I do the honor and see who the winner is, every month we do this. So next month we're going to be doing something in honor of the Thanksgiving holiday, and then in honor of the 'tis the season and Christmas, Hanukkah, all that good stuff. We do something to where we can help you and you don't have to worry about getting the item or have to worry about any financial. We will definitely take care of that. So today's gift is going to be 2 tickets, an equivalent of $75, okay? And the winner goes out to, drum roll, Candace Fisher. Congratulations. You won the 2 tickets for Phobia Haunted House tickets. We will send you a direct message. You do have to be present and 18 years and older to claim your prize. So we'll go ahead and reach out to you, make sure everything is good with you and your home as well, and make sure everything is going good on the up and up. So if some of you guys are actually watching right now and want to help, have a shelter, have a charity, or even have already done something in the community, and you want to be on the show to talk about it and how you can also help those lives that are being affected by it, we would love to have you on the show. All you have to do is right above, you do have an email. Make sure you email Giselle@dmillerlaw.com if you want a chance to be a guest on the show. We use the show to not just educate, but also help. We want to help our community if we are able. And so I want to gather forces. Those of you guys that are watching and want to help with me, let's create a little focus group, and go out there and help those that are in need of our help. So definitely send an email to this one above, and we'll go ahead and get something together, and it will happen pretty soon. So another thing we have, once this tragic event of Tropical Storm Imelda happened, we were on all of our social media platforms, making sure everyone's okay, everyone is safe, if anyone is needing of anything. So here's an example of just being safe around the area. We also have other social media outlets. So if any of your family members or friends also are in need of some help, I want you and strongly encourage that you guys go through our other social media outlets. These outlets are able to help you guys. When in a case of a tragic event like this is where we join forces and we go crazy on social media. If someone is needing to be rescued, if someone is in need of just water, bleach, you never know, please reach out to us on social media and we will make sure that we can make that happen for you guys. We do have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and there is where we want to make a difference. So let us know, everyone who is watching, how we can help you rebuild after Imelda. These events, especially in Houston, in the Caribbean, anywhere along the Gulf, even on the east coast of the United States, have been affected on certain type of storms, hurricanes, and we want to help you guys rebuild. Let us know how we can help. We will be going to shelters and we're going to be donating a lot of items, but we want to help you rebuild. I also want to thank all of you guys that are watching the show, because it starts with you. We can make a difference to our community, and we can lend a helping hand. And I want to thank you guys for sharing the show. Also on your Facebook page, the more you share, the more lives we can help out in our community. So I want to thank you guys for that. Together as a community, we can come together and help those rebuild for Imelda, the tropical storm. It's not going to be an easy process. It's not going to happen overnight. But just remember that there's still people out there that need our help. So let's come together as a community and help. I want to thank you for tuning in to Talk to Me Tuesday on a Tuesday. I'm your host, Madi B.